Hello and welcome once again to Pollitt's Projects, and in this episode I'm being a teapot with this jaunty stance, and we're also going to do some nice things to Doug the Bug's engine bay. Why, car? Why must everything be difficult? And here we are then, back on Doug the Bug. In the last video we were working with the Daimler, taking those front end panels off so that we knew that the car was a viable restoration project. But now we're back in the land of cheap, knackered old Volkswagens. So if you were hoping for a Daimler update, I apologise, but there will be a good one coming soon when they start welding and spraying. So look forward to that. In the meantime, Doug, what are we doing? Engine bay, mainly. I mean, the interior is in bits, but that's by the by. We'll ignore that. We'll just keep the door shut and, you know, pretend that doesn't happen. Mainly because it smells like, you know, a hot, wet, dead badger at the minute, because I left the window open the other night in a fairly biblical storm, so it just filled up with water. But I guess that's some kind of cleaning? Who knows? But we're ignoring that. I'm going to do the engine. So I've got new spark plugs. I've got a new rocker cover gasket because it's leaking oil. I've got a new PCV valve because it's leaking oil. I've got a K&N air filter, and I'm going to modify the air box as well. So, and I think that's it. I can't see the stack of stuff that I've got. I've done the wipers. The wipers stopped working. Well, we know this from the last video. The wipers didn't work when I bought Doug. I've got a new wiper mechanism which is fitted into the car. I obviously haven't put the scuttle in, or there's a sort of secondary tray that goes here. I haven't put that back in because I need access to do this engine stuff. But the spindles turn, so the wipers will work when I put it all back together. So first thing, degrease. So I've got some gunk engine, spray engine degreasant. I'm going to spray that on first while the manifold's on, and then I can go more macro when the manifold's off. I don't want to be spraying this all over the engine bay when the manifold's not there. So this can go on and start breaking into the horror that's on there. So let's do that. Yeah, first of all, forgive me for waving my phone around when you're looking at me from that camera, but this one can get you in there and show you what I found. So, taken the injection / inlet manifold off. That was a bit of a fight because naturally Volkswagen put all the really difficult clips and fasteners and bands and all that at the back. But yeah, so this is what I found. So I've taken this off because I thought the rocker gasket was going. Turns out that's all built up on top, and the rocker actually looks a bit, you know, bit of surface corrosion. It's not great, but it's the goddamn PCV valve. But I don't think the rocker's perfect, so I'm going to change it anyway. But the PCV's gone, and this has been sucking oil through. If this was a turbo car, especially if it was a turbo, like if it was a 1.9 TDI, this thing would have grenaded by now. It would have gone full on diesel run on and sent a rod to the moon. I mean, look in there. Look in there. This isn't Babe Station. I do apologise. Look at that. Oh yeah, dial 0850 745 345 and listen to me for £4 an hour, and you can enjoy all of this inlet probing action. Sorry, went off on a tangent there. But yeah, so much oil. You know, it shouldn't be taking that in. And I thought, well, let's have a look after the math. And it's no better there. That's right, just thumbing in a softie. That's no better. Hello. This is weird, isn't it? But yeah, but basically it's been taking in a lot of oil. An awful lot of oil. So we'll change that PCV valve, we'll clean everything up, we'll change the rocker gasket. What baffles is the fact they changed the timing belt and the water pump in March, which I've got the invoice for, I've got some pictures of it being worked on, but they managed to overlook the fact the car's covered in oil. This is why you should work on cars yourselves. At least then you know. Predictably, I have managed to drop one of the nuts into Narnia, so we'll never see that again. Oh, look at the crud on there. Oh, it's awful. There we go, one rocker cover removed, and it's quite revolting. The gasket is harder than getting a PhD in physics. So yeah, probably good timing on that, but we'll clean that up first. Ow! Just spiked myself. You should be wearing gloves is what's going to be in the comments now. Yes, I should. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm not going to show you all of this filming because I'm going to carry on cleaning this. I'm going to have a small existential crisis as I question whether or not I can put all this back together correctly. So in the next scene, when you see these parts, they'll be clean and lovely. Next up, while I wait for bits to dry, is spark plugs, and I've got some fancy Bosch ones with 2 prongs on them. So presumably that will make it for more horsepowers, but probably not. So there's our old plugs, which have actually got 3 prongs on them, and they don't look too bad. I mean, the car was running all right, so you know, I'm sure these NGKs have done fine. And this is our new one, Bosch units. So we'll put them on. They're only 2 prongs, so it does mean I'm going to lose 33% of my brake horsepower. But that's the price you pay for new plugs. Naturally, I couldn't help myself, so the rocker cover has now got a fresh coat of satin black paint on it. It's a barbecue / stove paint, so it should be fine with any engine temperatures and whatever. So now all I've got to do is pop the new gasket in, which is going to be interesting. because brilliantly, I'm not sure if that's the right gasket, because the fit there is shocking. That, dear viewer, isn't correct. Bugger it. And I can't use the old one because the old one's too hard. Right, to eBay. We'll order the right one. It is a couple of days later, as evidenced by the fact I'm wearing different shorts. The rocker cover or valve cover or whatever you want to call it is now a nice uniform satin black. And finally, we have the correct gasket. Got this from Cleveland Auto Spares, and it is proof, not that proof was needed, that we should all still be using bricks and mortar parts places, because they just get it right, don't they? Right, so that is the one. Wunderbar. Right, so now I've got to fit that to the car. So let's do that. Now we can pop on the new PCV, he says. Close enough. Don't worry, I wasn't just going to say close enough and call it done. I put it on properly. See? Right, now clean some stuff. Let's get on that. It's 1998, you've got your Vauxhall Nova, 1.2 Merit, you want to make it go chirp and burp at the same time. So what you do is you drill the airbox. It's the oldest trick in the book. Does it improve torque? No. Do you get more brake horsepower? No. What about throttle? No. No, it doesn't improve anything, it just makes noise. And when you have drilled your airbox, don't forget to sweep it all up and put it in the bin. Otherwise your Deborah will shout at you. Other women's names are available. Put everything back together, didn't have any bolts left over, or any nuts, or any spanners, and still got all my fingers. But will it start after my tinkering, shall we say? And before I do try and start it, and hopefully it does start to give this statement some weight, I'm not a mechanic, I don't know what I'm doing. It's learn by doing, it's have a go, it's get some tools, it's have a play. I've never done. I know there are people watching like, oh well, you've done nothing there, you just took the inlet off and it was fine, it's a 10-minute job. Well, I'm not a mechanic, but I want to promote people like you having a go and learning on your own cars, and that's what I'm doing with this. So hopefully it will start. If it doesn't, I'll be deeply embarrassed, but I will leave it in the video. Let's see what happens. Give it a minute. It's not happy, but it has been apart, and its breathing system has been apart, so. It's idling, that's something. I'd say that. It's also smoking a little bit, but that's to be expected. So because I'm a moron and I didn't plug in the throttle body before trying to start the car, I've now got an error code. So let's see what my cheap Amazon code reader says. It's found 2 codes. Throttle actuator control range performed back, right, okay. Okay. Scroll, erase codes, erase codes. Engine failure. Well, the ignition's on. So. Turn key on with engine off. Well, that's what I'm doing. Amazon thing. No code, just what's wrong with you? Right, let's turn it off and give it a second and try again maybe. Unplug that. See what's up. Right, so it starts up now quite happily. Quite happily, he says. Tell you, that drill in the airbox has made a difference. I'm going to try and get to the bottom of this engine code and fight with this little cheap code reader. I obviously need to buy a better code reader, but bear with, caller. And there we go, that concludes another episode of Pollitt's Projects. And we've done some engine stuff there. new rocker gasket, new plugs, painted the rocker cover, cleaned the entire engine bay and made that a less, you know, inhospitable place to work and tinker, drilled the airbox, put that K&M filter in. It's just basic service stuff, really. But I know that can be intimidating. I know, like, I know people can open a bonnet and be like, oh, and not know what to do with it. And that's, you know, that's sad. But don't be scared of it. Don't be afraid of it. It's just nuts and bolts. It can only go back together one way. You know, well, it can go back together several ways, but it can only go back together one way and work, which is what you'll do. You know, learn by doing, be methodical, watch what you're taking off, look at where you're taking it, take lots of pictures, and you'll be fine, you know. All right, so I've done basic service stuff on this, but I had to take the entire breathing system off the car. I had to take the injection manifold off the car, you know, throttle body, mass airflow sensor, blah, blah, blah. I took it all off and cleaned it all up because that PCV valve was knackered. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just making it up as I went along. I've just taken the car out and it sounds great. It runs fine. You know, cleared those codes off. I might have smashed up that £10 or £15 or whatever it was Amazon code reader. I'll buy a better one because that was rubbish. But you know, it's just fun, and you enjoy your cars a lot more if you work on them yourself. I'm not saying you need to be like me or, you know, other YouTube people that spend days under, you know, under rusty old relics or, you know, working on knackered old Beetles. But, you know, just take a spanner to it. You'll like your car a lot more. You'll get a lot more out of your car, and you'll feel so, so proud of yourself. And that is what it's all about. And that is what I'm trying to instill in you with this YouTube channel. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm sure the YouTube police will remind me of that in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you've not subscribed, please consider doing so. Apparently the YouTube algorithm loves it if you click the bell. I don't know what that means. And if you are a patron, thank you very much. And you will see your name in the credits. If you're not a patron and you want to help me make motivational content about knackered old cars, then you can do so via the link below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, which will probably be based on the Mercedes. Why, car? Why must everything be difficult?